Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Wacky Wednesdays!
Wacky Wednesdays!
Welcome to Wacky Wednesdays. I'm Christy Richardson, the Children's Director at Northside Church. Let's have some fun.
It's a noisy girl life.
Do you love me?
It's a noisy girl life.
My wacky story for today is absolutely nothing.
Woohoo!
Mr. Randy knocked it out of the park. You got to hear from him. He did one of these. Mic drop.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wacky Staffy, taking us back, making us laugh. Wacky Staffy, making us laugh. It's a wacky staff. It's a wacky staff. Woo!
My wacky story for Christy is simply this. I'm a 16-year-old boy with cousins, and we're in the woods in Mississippi. My parents had a cabin down in Mississippi, and so we're traveling from town back to the cabin. When my cousins, who are not always from the woods area, saw a fire tower.
Hey, look at me!
Saw a fire tower, and they wanted to go to the top of it. So off we go. I pull in. Ranger wasn't there, so it was okay to just go up to the highest platform. So we did. But on the way up, I noticed as we were going up, there was this huge hornet's nest. The hornet's nest was bigger than a basketball, and but I didn't see any activity, so we eased on around and we got up and we stayed at the top of that tower for probably 30 minutes. It was my sister and two of her girl cousins, and well, we decided to come back down. As we started down the flight of steps, we noticed that there were some sentries, two hornets sitting on the outside of that big hornet's nest. And noticing those hornets, I told my sister to take one of the cousins and start easing down, and when they got around the corner to take off and get on down to the ground, because then we would come, and if they came out, I didn't want to knock anybody over as I was headed to the ground.
Randy's gonna move.
Get out the way! Get out the way!
So here we are, and they're starting down, and everything seems to be fine. But Sherry is standing next to me, and all of a sudden she starts jumping up and down. Well, there was a hornet on her leg. It had not stung her, but it was on her leg. And I guess anybody would jump up and down and start swatting.
Yes.
But what happened then was unexpected. It was not the football-sized hornet's nest that was on the post away from the steps, but there was one under us.
Oh.
And this black cloud of hornets surrounded us. I shoved Sherry and told her to run. When she started running, I went back to the top because I would have run over them. Oh. And so I am sitting at the top of this tower swatting hornets and getting stung multiple times.
How many times you get stung?
I got stung 28 times.
Woo! Woo!
My grandfather said I should have been dead. But we get back down to the ground. I come back through them again, get stung a couple of more times. But once everybody was on the ground, they did not get stung, but I did get stung. I get home, and my grandfather and my dad and all of them were trying to come up with remedies to ease the pain.
Cry a little bit? Tell us, Randy, did you cry a little bit?
No, but I was sure mad. Let me tell you.
Oh, mad as a hornet.
Yes, I was. And but here was the odd thing about it. I had these red dots come up where every one of those hornets hit me, but they didn't swell. I didn't get sick. And the only thing we can attest or figure out is that 6 months earlier I had gotten bit by a copperhead. I was in the hospital for 5 days. It took me 3 months to learn how to walk again.
Oh my
and
word!
they gave me horse serum to fight off the copperhead bite, and I assumed that was still in my body 6 months later that kept me from swelling.
Wow.
So I was out playing that afternoon, and that is my story.
Your whole life, Randy's whole life is wacky. By the way, look what's on. I want to show you this. Look behind him. He caught these. He caught these, and he caught these over there. Here is the manliest man on the planet, and Northside gets him. Woo!
Bible story.
Yeah.
Yes, Randy. Love it.
Randy.
He's a colleague of mine, and he's a manly man. Love him.
He's gonna be in a comic book.
No, it's crazy.
It's like Northside's Avenger.
Well, there are a few stories in the Bible that can rival Randy's. We're going to talk about one today that does. Let's talk about
Samson!
Lisa, tell us about him.
So good. You can find the story in Judges chapters 13 through 16. It starts right out the bat with his parents having an encounter with God himself. Didn't think that they could have kids, and this angel, God himself, came and said, you're going to have this child, it's going to be a son, but you have to eat certain things and not eat certain things, drink certain things, don't drink certain things, and when this child is born, dedicate him to me, and don't cut his hair.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So instructions right off the bat.
Right
for
off the
parents,
bat,
and they did
that's
what
right.
They were told.
They did exactly what they were told. In fact, and God even said the purpose of this child, he is going to deliver the Israelites from the Philistines, which you should recognize that.
Talked about them before.
Yes, well, later on they're going to talk about Goliath was a Philistine too. So constant trouble with them. And so the beautiful thing in this story, we're going to tell you, we're going to be a spoiler. Spoiler alert! Samson does deliver the Israelites from the Philistines. But the reason why the story's wacky is because he's imperfect, like many of us, doesn't do as good of a job as his parents did in following all the rules, and that's partly why he ended up being captured. But he did things like tore apart a lion with his bare hands. I mean, like, you know, tearing a piece of paper apart. Did that with a lion. Oh, yeah. Then came back later, because, again, this is a very teenage boy thing. Wonder how that carcass is, a dead carcass.
Same lion.
That's right.
Dead
Finds
lion.
a bunch of bees, mind you of Randy, okay, who had made a bunch of honey, and no fear at all.
In the
collects-
lion's mouth, right?
I don't know, just in the carcass somewhere.
Or in the carcass somewhere.
I know, it's a little gross. So he shares it with his parents. Maybe that's why he didn't tell his parents where he got the honey from. That's in the Bible. Okay. Oh, yeah. But he does things with foxes, catches 300 of those. 2 by 2, ties their tails together, lit them on fire, burnt his enemies' fields up. Okay, so that's part of the point, too, is he had a bad temper, you guys. And I don't think that God would have asked him to do that with the foxes. But the wonderful thing, thank goodness, God just accepts his faults and all, and he could still accomplish it. Hey, our mistakes aren't enough to ruin God's plan for us. Remember that. Be hopeful. But he also did things, got into fights all the time, beat 30 guys up by himself. Then he beat 1,000 guys up by himself with a donkey jawbone.
Just goes
I
on
know.
and on.
Oh, then he got really mad because he heard some guys were plotting against him. So we went up to the city gate, which is like this huge metal and iron thing, and ripped it off the whole thing and carried it 40 miles, on his back, up a hill about a half mile up. And yes.
He eventually gets caught, though.
He does get caught because I told you again, remember, he doesn't follow the rules. He doesn't do what God asked him to do. And he ended up being betrayed by someone that thought loved him. And they cut his hair and made him weak, and they captured him. But you know what? God sees us through the end. And after some time, after he'd been in jail a while, his hair had grown back, he was strong again. And he asked God to help him one more time to rescue the Israelites. And with one final thing of strength, he fixed it all. But you have to read about it. Read about it. Judges 13, 14, 15,
Great
16.
great stories about Samson. And again, it's a reminder that God uses us no matter what mistakes we make. It's okay.
His plans are perfect.
His plans are perfect. Thanks, Lisa. We'll see you again on Sunday. Until then, y'all have a great rest of the week. You can't resist yourself.